That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about Quacks of Quedlinburg. This is a bag drafting game created by Wolfgang Warsch. This game is one that it's very easy to teach and becomes a test of luck in a lot of ways, a test of mettle. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up, how to play, and how to win Quacks of Quedlinburg. So we're going to start off with the setup, and if you look here before you, I've got several of the boards laid out here. However, I'm only going to be working on my own board because they set up the exact same way. Today we're going to be setting up for a 4-player game. This game plays 2 to 4 players. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to set your board in front of you, probably facing towards yourself, but for the sake of this video, I'm facing it away. First thing that happens is you get a potion in which you want to make sure that you can see the liquid inside that matches your color board. So this is the red board. You can note that by the pot here, and this is the red potion as well. You also get 4 of these red tokens. 2 of them have this little fire symbol on it. You're going to put one of those on your 0. And the other one you're going to put out of the game. This board does have a second side. If you were playing with a second side, you would use it down here. However, we're going to be teaching on the introductory side here. It has all the information here for you. So the fire goes there. Your potion goes there. You also have one that is just a blank mover here, and that's going to go onto the board. You also have this little square here, which has 0 and then 50 points on it. You're going to keep it up with the 0, and you're going to put it onto this board. Every single player will put one onto this board as well, and that's just to indicate that you have not passed 50 points yet. You're going to take your mover marker, and you're going to put it onto this 0. Last thing you have is this little rat token, and you're going to put it into this bowl for now. More on that later. However, you each will take one of these bags, and you're going to take a number of tokens which are indicated on the bottom part of your board here. So you get 1 orange, 1 green 1, and you'll note that because each of these have numbers on them. Oranges are all 1, so just one of those, and then a green one with the number 1. You will also take a number 3 white, a number 2 whites, and then 4 number 1 white. So once you have all of that secured, you're going to take those and put them into your bag. Next thing, they have this flame marker here. This is a turn indicator. In this game, you have 9 turns. So we're going to start it off on the first turn here. As you move along turns, it moves down and moves all the way to the very end. Also, you have these fortune teller cards. You're going to shuffle them all together, and then you're just going to set them off to the side of the board. You also have these books, as you may have noticed. These books each have little bookmarks in the bottom right corner. These bookmarks indicate different gameplays. That's the fun thing about this, is there's a lot of variety in these. Most of these have 4 different sides that really alter how the game is played. However, for an introductory game, we're going to be using the 1 bookmark in the bottom left corner. Also, the black part here has 2 sides. One of them is for 2-player, and the other one is for 3 to 4. So each player starts the game with 1 ruby. This goes into your little ruby bag here. More on what you use those for later. Once you've done all this, it also says to stack up the tokens by each book in a stack. So you'll have a 1 stack, a 2 stack, and a 4 stack on this yellow book. Once you've done all that, you are ready to play the game. In order to determine who goes first, it depends on who was the last one to cook. Or you can do like we do and roll off as usual. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to flip over a fortune teller. These cards come in a couple of different variety. Some of them are blue and some of them are purple. If it's a blue card, it affects the entire round. If it's a purple card, it goes into effect right now. So for instance, on this one, all players draw 5 chips. The player with the lowest sum takes 1 blue 2 chip. All other players receive 1 ruby, and then put all the tokens back in the bag. So you'll understand more on that as you play the game, but basically, depending on what fortune teller card you get, depends on what happens in the round. Now, once you've drawn the fortune teller card and put it into effect, next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your bags and begin drawing from them. So, everyone right now has their playing chip on the 0 space. So you're going to start drawing back chips from your bag. First one I draw is a 1. It moves 1 space away. And I'll just keep drawing. Next one is another white 1. So I'm moving very slowly around this thing. But most of what's in my bag are 1s, so I'm not going to be moving super fast. Next one is a 2. So that brings my white total value to 4. That's important because if you exceed 7, your pot explodes. What that means is we'll get into a later, once everyone is done drawing all their chips and have quit, then you have a chance to get victory points and to buy more of these chips to add to your bag. However, if your pot explodes, you get one or the other. You either get to get victory points or you get to buy new tokens. And these new tokens are how you move further and further around your pot. So they're very important as well. However, you do have a potion here. What this potion allows you to do is, let's say you draw a something you don't want. You can drink this potion, this flask, and remove that last chip and put it back into your bag. So for sake of example, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll drink this potion, flipping it over, and taking this 2 and putting it back into my bag. Now I'll continue to draw. And I drew a 2 white again, so unfortunately did not hit. We'll draw again. 1, 2, 3. Now I am at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am at 7. I have not exceeded it, so I'm good. If I draw again, I'm running the risk of getting another white. If I get another white, then my potion will explode. However, I have 7, and I can stop here, and I'll go ahead and stop. So everyone's doing this all simultaneously. Everyone's drawing and adding things to their pot all at the exact same time. Once everyone has finally found their stopping place, then we move on to the next phase. So whoever is in the lead on this, whoever is the furthest along in this spiral of your potion, gets to roll this die. On this die are a number of symbols. If it has a 1 or a 2 on, like, it looks like a page, that's a victory point. So you'll take your marker and move it along the victory track. If it has what looks like a pumpkin on it, that's one of these orange tokens. Take that and put it into your bag. If you have one of these that has like a fire with an arrow, that means you move your fire chip up 1, which that's good because that's 1 less space you have to move with your chips. Also, you can get one that has a ruby on it, and it makes sense. You just take a ruby and add it to your pot. All right, so for the sake of example, we'll say I'm the furthest in this, and I'll go ahead and roll this die. And I get 2 victory points, so I'll move up the victory point track. Everything that happens once everyone is done with their bag is written on this board here, and you'll work it from left to right. So first thing is rolling the die. Second thing is resolving the black book, which the black book pretty much deals with its competition in who has the most black chips drawn. If you have more than your neighbors, you'll move it up. You'll move your flame up 1, which is just starting further and further ahead. And each of these books have a lot of variety in them, so I won't go through every single one of them. The next one is the green book, and what that matters is where you end up on here. If you end up with a green chip in your last or second to last, you get a reward, and that's what those books do. The next one is the pink one, and each of those pink/purple books do a little bit different. Just read whichever book you're starting with and follow the guidelines that go with it. It doesn't actually come into play until the 3rd round, so we'll move on along. Next one is, depending on where you ended, you'll look at the next spot. So for instance, here I ended here. So if you look here on the next one here, I do not get a ruby. If I ended one space further, I would get a ruby because it's the next available space. However, I don't get one there, and that's what that ruby there is for. Next thing is victory points, and on each space on your board here, you'll see little squares. And this square here has a 1, which means I get 1 whole victory point. Woohoo, don't spend it all in one place. And the next thing are chips. So I have a buying power of 8 because of where I landed. So with this 8, I can purchase anything on the board that is available, which means no yellow and no pink as of right now. So I can buy anything up to 8. So that could be a 1 yellow, that could be a red 1, that could be a blue 1, a green 1, or an orange 1. Now, you can buy up to 2 chips if you have enough money to do so. So I could buy a green 1 and an orange 1 if I wanted to. And for sake of this, I'll go ahead and purchase this. So I'll take an orange 1 and a green 1, and I will add them both to my bag. Last thing here is if you had 2 rubies, you could trade them in for one of 2 things. Now, rubies are victory points at the end in pairs, but it's more imperative for you to use them during the game, I would think. But you can use 2 rubies and refill your flask, and basically give you another chance to get rid of something less desirable on the board as you draw it. Or you can use 2 of these to move your flame marker up 1. That's the example of 1 round. Once that is all done, we'll move this flame marker up 1, and that unlocks yellow into something you can buy. In round 3, pinks come into play. 4 and 5, nothing happens. In round 6, you get another white 1 token, and that is added to your bag. Nothing happens in 7 or 8. In round 9, however, that is the end of the game, in which case you can trade in 2 rubies to get victory points, and any money that you had that round, instead of buying chips, you can buy victory points at 5 each. In setup for round 2, the only big difference between those and adding the yellow books is this rat mechanic. And if you look at the score tracker here, you can see that there are a number of rats littered around the edge of the board. Now, each of their rat tails indicates another level. So let's say in this example, I'm red and yellow is quite a bit ahead of me here. I will look at the difference between and count the number of rats I encounter to get to where he is. So going up, there's 1 rat here, 1 rat here, and their tails are between us. So that's 2 different points here. What I'll do with my rat tail is I will move it 2 spaces away from where I am. So 1, 2. Now, I will start here 2 spaces ahead. It's a bit of a catch-up mechanic in this game that helps you start a little bit further ahead in case you are behind, as I am in this example. Once you are through purchasing your tokens to add to your bag, you will clear off your board and put them back into your bag to be drawn again on the next round. So that's an example of 1 round of this game. Next thing we'll jump into is the victory points aspect and how you win. The big thing to know is the further you get along this track is more victory points you earn. So for instance, I only got 1 victory point for being at 8 here. However, if I'd gotten all the way to 20 here, I'd get 5. So the further you can get along here is more victory points you can earn. But basically, you'll keep moving along this marker, moving along here, and then whoever is in the lead at the end of the game wins. Simple as that. Quacks of Quedlinburg is a very customizable game with how the books lay out and just different strategies you can incorporate for that. But ultimately, it's a really fun game, really zany, and yeah, hop on, grab you some Quacks of Quedlinburg. So please like, comment, and subscribe. and let us know if you've played Quacks or what you want to know more about the Quacks of Quedlinburg, because that's the way we roll.